It's time to watch Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, Homecoming and Far From Home. And because I have watched these movies quite a few times, it's not going to be a first time watching reaction, so it's going to be a little different from my Andrew Garfield's and Tobey Maguire reaction videos. And you can check them all out in a playlist up here. So this may be a little bit more, less reaction, more commentary, and like my general thoughts on some of the scenes, some of the stuff that happens in these movies though. It is time to watch Spider-Man Homecoming. Vulture is definitely in like my top 5 Spider-Man villains. I think he might be like number 2 or number 3 because yeah, I really like him, and I really like villains where they have a reason to be evil, and so like he's gonna lose his job, he's gonna lose his house, his wife, his family, like he's got people to protect. So yeah, I really do like Vulture as the villain in this movie. I also really like the little like film by Peter Parker that he makes when he's like going off, like the part in Civil War, and I really like how they included like something like that in the What If series. I think it was episode 5 with the zombies. And I watched a theory by Seamus Gorman where he said that Peter Parker is a YouTuber, and it like I really believe that theory. I want to believe it. I really think it's funny, and yeah, I just really like how they like really show like he's so excited, he like really loves it. And I also feel like I need to give some context that Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. He's the one that I grew up with. I first saw him in Civil War, and that was in 2016. I was about 14, so that's like the right age to watch these Spider-Man movies. And so like he's the one I grew up with, though it could have been Andrew Garfield because it came out in 2012, so I would have been like 11 or 10. But no, Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. Tony Stark flirting with Aunt May is just so funny because Peter's face is like, what's happening? What's going on? And it also really makes me laugh when Far From Home, Happy like has a thing with Aunt May. I always like found it weird how Peter spent the whole like Homecoming gushing over Liz, and then in Far From Home he's like really likes MJ. This boy moves on quick. And I really do like Ned as the best friend, and MJ is like the just always there for some reason, knowing a little bit too much about Peter. I like how he just gets changes in an alley. Like, yes, it's down, people don't really go down there, but literally walking past, you could just look to the side and see a naked boy putting on a latex suit. I didn't know Ned found out this soon, and why was Ned just sitting there so quiet, like in the dark kind of. So in this film, Uncle Ben is still dead, but this time it wasn't Peter's fault. Or like Peter could have like avoided it, stopped it. How did he die in this universe? I love Ned like asking all the questions about what can he do as Spider-Man, and I just realised that they're in like a history lesson or something and they talk about the Sokovia Accords. I've never noticed that before. And we've just seen the first like Captain America cameo, like where he does like all these little like scenes like in gym, in detention. And was you annoyed when you waited the whole end credit scenes just for him to be like, patience? That was so funny. I think I went with my friend and we were just like, alright, time to get up. I think we were literally the only people that waited as well. I think we should have left with everyone else. And Ned is the best guy in the chair. And I just have a question, and it's very stereotypical of me, but has no one wondered how like Peter Parker is so like ripped? Like he has so many muscles and abs, but he's like a science geek? Because like stereotypically those two things wouldn't come together, but no one's like bat an eyelid, like yeah, he's ripped and smart, let's go. I really didn't like Tony Stark's involvement in Spider-Man's films because like he's the reason the villains become villains, and it's not really like down to Spider-Man, so they don't really want to fight Spider-Man, they just have to because he's like kind of in the way. But I do like how much you can really see that Tony cares about Peter, and like him giving like all the tech to him does make like Peter like pretty cool. Like he has a lot of different stuff going on with his suit and what he can do. Like Tony plays a really important role in both of Spider-Man's films so far. Like in the first one, making him realise that he's more than just his suit, that he has like other responsibilities, like really pushes him to become like a better Spider-Man. And in the second one realises that he has to be good, he has to do good, he has to be more responsible. Again, it's just like the first one, but like because Tony's now gone, he has to like take over Tony's legacy. I just feel so sorry for Spider-Man because he just wants to live like a normal life. He wants to like hang out with Liz and the rest of the team. He wants to hang out with his buddy Ned, but he knows he has to go off and fight the bad guys. It is the ferry scene, and when I first watched this in the cinema, oh my god, it was so intense. You can see his muscles like coming out and he's trying to pull it together, and he thinks he's naked, but then Tony shows up. Oh my god, him in the Iron Man suit looks so scary. He looks pissed. Oh, and he actually is here! And then Peter just counts backwards. He's only 15 though. God, how can you do that? 15, trying to save the world. I never like actually got emotional with this, but I feel nothing about this suit, that you should have it. See, Tony actually does so much for Peter's arc to make him like actually believe in himself and like do really well. The moment when Liz's dad opens the door and it's the Vulture and Peter's face. Oh my god, it just gives me goosebumps. That's like a proper use of the, I can't remember the technical term for it, but when like the audience knows but like the characters don't. Oh. The way she's literally like putting him in it. Like big neon sign, this is Spider-Man. He can't be mad at him because he saved his daughter. Your daughter could be dead if it weren't for Spider-Man. Don't let him intimidate you, and then he holds like a bloody gun up ready to shoot him. How can you just threaten a kid? He is 15. I just don't get how you can be a family man, have a wife and a daughter, and then threaten a kid and all his family. What the hell? Like, he actually cares about his wife and daughter, and then he threatens a 15-year-old. I actually quite like he's like makeshift costume. Ned is a guy in the chair and Spider-Man. Oh, you know how Iron Man gives Pepper Potts a suit, and so she's like Iron Woman or whatever? Spider-Man should give Ned a suit, and he can be a Spider-Man too. And Peter is so smart, leaving his phone in his car. He's IQ through the roof. The way Spider-Man just kept saying, it's moving day, just made me think of Anna in Frozen, where she's like, it's Coronation Day. This is probably my number 1 or 2 favourite moment in this film. I love that Spider-Man's whole thing is that he doesn't kill anyone, even though all the villains die literally. But he's trying like desperately, trying so hard to like save him. Look, he's running into the flames. How many people would do that? He's a 15-year-old kid and he went into fire to save your ass, even after you threatened to kill him and everyone he loved. You can't be mad at him. Oh my god, I just got that. It's called Homecoming, and he runs out of their homecoming dance. Wow. It took me, what, 5 years to understand that reference? Exactly, after what her dad did, Liz has had to uproot her life, and then she's associated with a bad person. And he like finally got the girl and then she went away. Woo! Michelle! They have this whole moment where Tony's like offering a new suit, offering him to be an Avenger, and he's like, nah, I'll just be on the ground for a little while. And then literally have Infinity War, and he doesn't stay on the ground, he goes up into space, and he becomes an Avenger. So how long after Homecoming is Infinity War set for him to stay on the ground, stay low, but like, does it really last that long? And he gets the suit and then he becomes an Avenger like pretty soon. What the f? I love how she finds out like that. And I do really like these credits. And I really like the credits for Far From Home as well. Can't forget about those end credit scenes though. I love that he doesn't give up Peter's identity. But then in his next film, Mysterio does instead. And here's the end credit scene I talked about earlier. Don't actually have to wait this time, I can skip through the credits.
Patience.
I love how they actually got got him back to actually do like these cameo shots. That was actually such a fun movie. I actually really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed watching that again. It's so much like more funnier than I remembered. And I really did love those like tough love moments where he takes away the suit and then he has to like fight out of the big rock that all fell on him. I was actually talking to my sister earlier and she said how Tom's Holland Spider-Man doesn't have any good like web swinging scenes, and he doesn't. He really doesn't. There was one scene where I was like, oh my god, this could be a good one, where he like swings in, but instead he like glides, kind of like those flying squirrels or whatever, like in Ice Age or something. Yeah, all the other Spider-Man movies have really good like swinging scenes. If they're just like swinging through New York or just trying to get to the battle, to like the fight, they swing. But he doesn't do that. He mostly ran, or he drove or he glided. And I don't know if in Far From Home there are web swinging scenes in that either. Like, that's the main Spider-Man thing, and this one doesn't have it. But yeah, I really did like Ned's character. He's such a good, like, best friend and guy in the chair. I love that Aunt May, like, finds it at the end. I like that they chose to have Aunt May know that Peter is Spider-Man in this, because it does make for really interesting conversations in Far From Home. And Michael Keaton as the Vulture, I loved it. He's that villain. I really do like that villain. I like how he goes through a whole, like, woo, kind of like with Doc Ock as well. So like they both start off good, turn evil, but then like come back to their senses towards the end, realizing they're like humanity. But the way he friended a 15-year-old kid, but then chose to not give up Spider-Man's identity, that was really nice. Probably one of like the best end credit scenes. Not because it was so like, oh my god, this is so amazing for like that next movie, but just because it added a really nice character piece to the Vulture. But now it's time to watch Far From Home. Can we just talk about the beginning of this film? Like I don't know whether to laugh or cry. All the soldiers we lost. Nah. Vision. Like, out of all of that, did we really only lose 4 people? Like the big 3? And then Vision? Like, was it really only 3 people? Oh my god, I have the same jumper as him. Matchy matchy. I always talk about this, like, imagine the blip. Imagine that, like, people disappear and you come back but you're the same, but the people who stayed are 5 years older. So much time has gone yet, like, no time has gone for you. It's just crazy. Like, your younger sister can then be your older sister. It's just, I just like how it's so convenient that all of Spider-Man and his friends blipped. So like they're still the same age. This shot right here where he's like crouching down looking at Iron Man. Oh, he's feeling so overwhelmed. He went from a small town, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to going to space, becoming an Avenger, saving the world. And he just wants to go back to that little friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Imagine being on like a school trip and you're on a flight and then you're wedged in between the teachers. Couldn't be me. That'd be so embarrassing. That'd be so awkward.
Only if it's depressing. Or hilarious.
MJ, that is literally me. Depressing or hilarious. Those are my 2 kind of films. Bonus if they're both sad and happy. And Mysterio is here! Woo! Fishbowl and a cake. Design actually looks really cool. But like he kind of looks like a villain. Like in the beginning, like does he ever seem like look like a superhero? But we must admit that first time watching he had us fooled. Mysterio does look cool fighting are they called the Elementals? Elementals are actually really cool, like monsters, characters, if only they were real and not drones and the holograms. It's so funny that in this movie Flash loves Spider-Man but still bullies Peter. Oh, just the irony just makes me laugh. It's so crazy because Peter just asked, there's a multiverse? And then in No Way Home, the multiverse is real. Damn, they knew. Kevin Feige just knows everything. I know they planned like 5 years in advance, but they've just planned every single movie from the beginning to end to the end of time, surely. So is there actually a Mysterio from Earth 833 or whatever he said? You're a liar! You're a manipulator! Bitch, please! I always forget that he says that. Why is he coming to Spider-Man though? There's literally other heroes out there. He's got like 3 different like flower prints on him. His hat, his shirt and his bag. So much happens like in this. He accidentally orders a hit on Brad. He knocks out Flash. Almost crashes the coach. But this is cool, slow motion jump out and then that's so cool. I really like that big fight where like the last elemental, the fire one, like they're up in the Ferris wheel. Like it looks really cool, and I really like the Night Monkey suit. Like I think it looks cool, like the all sleek black. But then where the eyes pop up, it just looks a bit weird. Like there's kind of like an emotional moment between Spider-Man and Nick Fury where he's like, Tony made you an Avenger. And like you can see like the tears in Spider-Man's eyes because you just have his eyes just like hollowed out. It just looks a bit funny and like weird to me that I couldn't take like that emotional moment as serious as I wanted it to be. No, Peter, he trusted them to you. I hope we see the Edith glasses again in No Way Home. He's a manipulator. This whole scene where Spider-Man's like in one of Mysterio's illusions, it's actually quite like scary. It looks really cool, but I also just not knowing what's real. Like obviously it's all fake, but it seems so real. Wait, is that real? No, that's fake. I really like movies when it's either like set in the UK, set in London, or like it's like an American film or like a foreign film, but they come to London or just England, the UK, and so they've just, well, part of them, like all of them are in London, like on the bus, on the bridge, and then Happy and Spider-Man just like flew over and it said Dorset. Love Dorset, such a beautiful place, love going on holiday there. But in London, that's my hometown. And yeah, I just, for some reason, like, I'm sure other people get that, but I just really like it. I'm just like, oh my god, I've been there. I live there. Like, I've just been too like invested in this movie, so there's a few things that I haven't spoken about yet. But the speech between like Happy and Peter, where he's like, everyone's asking who's gonna be Iron Man, I can't be him, and Happy's like, no, you'll never be him. Even like Tony was too good to be him. Tony couldn't be Tony, and he was just like, who are you gonna be? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna take down Mysterio? And just like that really like empowered Spider-Man. Like he fully was like, oh, let's do this. And when he's building the suit, it's just so good. And I think none of these suits are really that special. I mean, like the ones I like are just ones that are just really basic. So I really liked his just homecoming suit, like his normal one, and then I really like his like new Far From Home one. I really hate the Iron Spider one, whatever it's called, where it's all metal. I don't like the metal ones, like the metallic ones, I just don't know. But with the actual like spider legs or like arms coming out, it's just a bit weird. And I just really hate Mysterio. I just really hate him. Like, that's so good when you like hate a villain because you're supposed to hate them, but I just hate him in a way where I hate him but I can't like him. He's doing a good job of making me hate him, but I don't like to hate him. I just like hate him, but like he's doing a good job. And now that we know that actually Nick Fury and Maria Hill like were Skrulls, and so when Happy sends the video where it's like, oh, looks can be deceiving or whatever, like that was like a hint, a nod to Mysterio, but it's also like, you're deceiving because you're not actually Nick Fury. I really like the special effects in this, the visual effects. Like it looks obviously like the big drones creating these monsters looks really cool, but when Spider-Man is like inside the simulation or whatever, like he's inside of all the drones, it just looks really cool. This scene where he's like in the simulation, his Peter Tingle's working, he can see where the drones are. Oh wow, like this, it just gave me goosebumps the first time I'd watched it. And just that, oh my god, can't believe he went to shoot a 15-year-old kid, or is he like 16 now? I don't know. What the hell is wrong with you, Beck? Beck with his contingency plans. And he ruins everything for Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's about time. Peter finally got a web swinging scene. And right at the end of the film where he's swinging through New York.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
What the?
What the? That's the... Oh my god. Oh, it still gets me. I actually think I don't think I've actually watched this film as much as I thought, because that still got me. I just think this is a bit hypocritical because Nick Fury's just on vacation, like having a little break from like his superhero in life, like looking after all the Avengers. That's what that's what Spider-Man, that's what Peter wanted to do. And that was Far From Home. I've watched all of the Spider-Man, live action Spider-Man movies leading up to No Way Home. I feel like I'm fully prepared to watch this movie on Wednesday. Oh gosh, it's gonna be so crazy. Honestly, I liked both of Tom Holland's movies more than I actually thought I did. I don't know, like they never went like into my mind whenever I thought of like my top 5 MCU films. They're still not, I wouldn't say they are, but I actually did like enjoy both of them more. Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Peter Parker does have a certain charm to it. Each actor portrayed them differently. Like each Peter Parker and Spider-Man felt distinctive in each like series of films, and so like I applaud each actor because you brought something different to it. Tobey's ones felt really like really nerdy, like cringy, awkward, like kind of like what you expect. Andrew's one I felt really like gritty, really like kind of like goofy and silly, but also like really like kind of like dark and gritty. Tom's one just awkward and just a little bit silly as well, but also like he had the weight of like the world and the Avengers as well, because like kind of like Spider-Man in the other movies exists in his own like universe, whereas because of Tom's involvement with the rest of like the Avengers and other characters, like it feels like a lot bigger, a lot more is like riding on him. He has a lot more like responsibility, a lot of more stuff like to hold on to. But yeah, I just really enjoyed both these movies. I can't wait for No Way Home. Oh, it's gonna be so crazy. Honestly, there's so much hype surrounding this film, just as much as like Endgame. I can't remember how much hype it had, but definitely had a lot. So, and everyone's saying that this is like the one that's finally gonna like rival Endgame's like hype and anticipation, and I think it is. You know, I always just kind of like realised with these movies, with No Way Home, is that we're getting the villains from Tobey's and Andrew's movies coming back in No Way Home, but we're not getting, or at least I don't think it's confirmed that we're getting like a return of the Vulture or Mysterio. This is Tom Holland's movies, yet we're not getting his villains, but I just can't wait for it. I'm so excited to watch it, and I'm so happy that the UK get it earlier. And now that I have watched all of the live action Spider-Man movies, oh gosh, it's gonna be so hard ranking all of the movies. What, there'll be 8 live action movies I'm pretty sure to rank, and so look out for that video. Subscribe and stick around for the ranking of all like live action Spider-Man movies, and subscribe for my No Way Home review that will either drop on Wednesday or Thursday depending like timing, because we also have episode 5 of Hawkeye, and apparently a lot of stuff's gonna go down for that. So if you like Marvel, you're gonna like my channel because I cover pretty much all of it. But that's it for my reaction, like commentary and review of Spider-Man's Homecoming and Far From Home. I enjoyed both of them, and I really do like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He's my Spider-Man, he's the one that I grew up with. I'm really excited for No Way Home. I can't wait for it. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.